Okay, now that I have a binding source that's actually getting its information from the cities table, what I need to do is to change this from a text box into a combo box that uses this binding source. So I will click here and say edit columns, and by the way, here you can change a lot of information. For example, if I go to customer ID, I can change the header text, which usually picks it up from the database, and it might not be user friendly or very readable, so you can actually change it here. And for example, also you can change the width. The address is usually a little bit long, so maybe 100 is not enough. Maybe I can use 150 or 200. Okay, but my main concern really is city here. And if we take a look at the column type, it's a text box column. So we have a drop down menu here that allows me to change it into a combo box. As soon as I do that, I have a new fields available, which is basically specifying data source, which one is the city binding source, the one that I just created. Okay, so from the city binding source, what do I want to display? I want to display the city, and the value would be the city. Okay, I'm done. I would say alright, okay, and then run my application. I still get the same information for my 3 customers, Sharjah, Ajman, Ras Al Khaimah. But if I want to modify or create a new customer, then I have the lookup field available, which actually got its data from my city's lookup table. Okay, so this is the first step. The second step is doing the exact same thing, but instead of a grid view, I would use the details view. So in order to do that, I'm going to create a new form, go to my data sources, and change from data grid view to details view, and then drag into my form. Okay, now in here I would also need the binding source since I'm using this technique, and to do that I will go back to my toolbox, get me a new binding source, drag it, do the exact same thing, change the name to city, and specify the data source to be my city data set, and of course use cities table as the data member. Okay, I have my binding source. However, here it's not as straightforward as we did it in the grid view. In here I would have to delete my text box and get instead a combo box. So I will go to my toolbox again and get a combo box. Okay, and now in this combo box I would have to specify where is the data coming from. So I'm going to click here and say use data bound items. Again, it would guess that it would be the same information where my data source is, the city binding source, my display member is city, my value member is also city. However, here I have an extra field, which is the selected value. Is basically I do have a list of cities, but which one do I display? If I don't put a value here, or if I put the wrong value, it's gonna always display for me the first city, let's say Sharjah. However, I want to display the city of that customer I'm looking at, because remember, in the details view I'm looking at one customer only, so I want to see his or her city. So basically the selected value is coming from the customer binding source, okay, where I would say give me the city of that customer. Okay, if you don't do that, and you might want to try it, leave it empty or get it from the cities table, you will see that you will always have the wrong city, or usually the first city in your lookup table. Alright, I'm done. I'm just going to go to my project properties and make form 2 my startup form and run it. And now I have, remember the first one was Sharjah, Ali, and the second one was Ajman, the third one Ras Al Khaimah. If I hadn't chosen that selected value right, I would always see Sharjah, Sharjah, Sharjah for all of them. Alright, this is it for this lesson.